What's up, boys? So I'm gonna go over a trade recap for today. Today is October 16th, currently 9:31. Just wanted to go over trade recap. So originally my bias was to go short for the day. Honestly didn't know how we were gonna react after that. I knew that we were either going to come above, sweep all of these highs right here, maybe even sweep these highs right here, and then come down, fill this resting liquidity from the previous day, and then on the 1 day time frame, there's a fair value gap that starts right at this line right here. So I knew that we are going to either come above these highs right here and just sweep it to the downside, but unfortunately, it's actually not what happened. We just tanked to the downside, so I really wasn't able to catch a move to the downside until later, but I'll go over that in just a little bit. Originally my plan was to take a trade closer to market open, like this here. I just want to go back and just show you guys exactly what I was looking for. So I was really looking for just a sweep, impulse move to the downside, retracement, and then to the downside to sweep these lows right here. Unfortunately, that's not really what happened. What ended up actually happening is market open, tank to the downside. Like I said before, taking out the previous day low and then filling a fair value gap right here. Right after that, I was like, okay, we are destined for a upside move, and sure enough, that's what happened. I missed my entry, not because I wasn't paying attention, but because I just was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking originally at this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Reason being is just the fact that, you know, it's a good impulsive move to the upside, and I really wasn't looking at this tiny little one. I'm sure if you look at a different time frame, it might have retraced back into that fair value gap. Actually, it did not. So, as you can see, I should have looked at this one right here. It was just too quick for me, because what happened is instantly, as soon as this candle closed right here, this candle opened. So let's just remove this, because originally I wanted to take it to the upside, but I missed it because I was looking at the wrong fair value gap. What happened is this candle closed right here, opened a little bit above, swept in like way too quick for me to react off of that, and then just boom, straight to the upside. Originally what I wanted to do was, let's just say for example, if I did take this trade right here, stop loss right at this order block, top of this order block right here, and then I wanted to target this 1 minute fair value gap that we had. The reason I chose a fair value gap as my form of take profit is because we already made this huge move to the downside, and I know at that point usually the market does not want to keep on going even higher after that, because since we made such an impulsive move and it's already after 10 a.m., we weren't really going to see a bigger move off of that. And I kind of messed up on that moving on to this trade, and I'll kind of go over that. But originally I was planning on taking my trade, if it did came into this fair value gap right here, taking it up to this fair value gap at the top over here, this 1 minute. Sure enough, ran through it. Instantly, right after that, I saw that we wanted to fill this fair value gap, and it was on a higher time frame. I believe it was in the 1 hour time frame, but just because we're doing a trade recap, I won't go through it. One minute fair value gap, and then it was also a 5 minute fair value gap. Boom. At this point, we're also filling way above equilibrium, so I was like, okay, we are for sure destined for a downside. Okay, we filled this equilibrium right here. Great, we're destined for a downside move at that point. Obviously, not always 100% right. This is the trade entry I took. I only had 2 contracts on this one. I went pretty light. Reason being, it's not off of liquidity, it's just off a fair value gap, so I didn't really have any other confluence besides this fair value gap, so I went kind of light on it. And originally I was planning on taking my take profit run and then moving my stop loss to break even, which sure enough, that's actually exactly what happened. Boom. At that point, I was anticipating for a move even lower, However, we were looking at this 5 minute fair value gap, so I was just considered that. Like, okay, I might as well just take my win earlier than moving it to break even, because at that point I secured more profits than originally I was anticipating for. And it's not the fact that I was going for the money. I was more just going for um, securing my profits. I guess if it just didn't mess up my psychology, because if I ended up not closing it, then I would have fucked up my psychology, would have doubted myself, and all that kind of shit that every trader goes through. So what I ended up doing is I ended up just leaving one contract left, and then at a certain point I was like, okay, we're just gonna go above. So I closed it right at this candle right here. Sure enough, we ended up playing around for a little bit. I'm actually gonna mark this out just so you guys can have a visual of where my break even was. So we bounced around a little bit, and then we played around at the take profit, and then boom, we swept it. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm glad I stopped myself out earlier than at break even, because I still made more money than I would have had at break even, obviously. Um, so that's the trade for today. I did also want to go over IWM. I took a paper trade because I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it that much. But this was definitely a super fire trade. If you look at I believe it was a 3 minute fair value gap. Oops, that's the wrong guy. It was a 3 minute fair value gap. Respected it perfectly. We actually swept these lows right here. If you see that we came above, it came below, I'm sorry, and filled this fair value gap. We also see that the EMAs have crossed. EMAs have crossed. Boom. Straight to the upside, and only targeted previous day high. But as you can see, this shit ran so much farther than I anticipated for myself. And I low-key regret not getting in this one, because obviously I missed out on huge profits. But I don't really get FOMO anymore. I've mastered myself to not get FOMO from trading anymore. So where the fuck is it, bro? Okay, you could see this is just for today. Came above, swept previous day high of yesterday. We swept September 18th, which was, I think it was a month ago. We swept monthly highs. We're feeling this order block, and I'm anticipating a huge downside move tomorrow because of the fact of how much liquidity we swept. But as you can see, this just kind of gives you a good example of why, including myself and other traders, are usually done trading by like, I'm in Chicago, so it's Chicago time, by like 9:30, or New York time like 10:30. This is what happens. How are you gonna tell me that you can make a move off of this? I'm sure if you're scalping, you're looking at 1 minute fair value gaps, you're fucking scalping. Okay, you had a 1 minute fair value gap. Boom, retrace back into it, take it off the long right here. I'm sure you could have hit this no problem. But me personally, I would rather catch more confident moves in the morning than after that. Just because of the fact that you have so much more volume in the market. Like, you could see that we're playing around with almost $50,000 or 50K volume, and we moved down to only 6K, 13K over here, 35, but that was only for 1 minute. Yeah, you could see this candle right here at 35. So you're better off just using the first 2 hours of market open. Obviously, everyone else trades differently compared to I do, than the way I do, I should say. So not everyone's going to be the same. Everyone has their own strategy. Everyone trades their own way. Everyone has their own rules. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just telling you how I do it and how I personally would want to do it. I think personally I am better off taking, 2 to 3 trades a day from market open, and then scalping is just personally not it for me. Taking multiple 5, 6 trades a day intraday. It's just not it. I think it can fuck with their psychology a lot. And me personally, I don't like that idea. So yeah, that was the trade recap for today. Missed 2 fire trades. Well, I didn't really miss it, but I definitely missed this one. I didn't miss IWM. I decided to paper that one, but missed the first trade on QQQ, and then I had just one TP hit on QQQ. So W day for today. Slow day, not the best day, but I'm actually anticipating for tomorrow to be a huge day because we didn't really have any news today. However, tomorrow, starting at 7:30, we have a bunch of news, unemployment claims, retail sales. This is gonna be a fire day. I think we're gonna see a huge move on the market. I really don't know what direction we're gonna be seeing. We can take a look. Damn. Let's see on the 15-minute time frame. It looks like what we can do is maybe come down, sweep these lows, depending on what happens during overnight market. Potentially sweep down, sweep these lows right here for impulse move to the upside, filling these fair value gaps. I believe it's a 1 hour fair value gap. Yep, 1 hour fair value gap. And maybe a continuation to the downside. It's kind of uncertain currently because we also have this fair value gap right here. So I don't really know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, that was the trade recap for today. See you guys soon.